So you have to be very careful and on guard about who you're talking to and who's giving you the information about Islam, because without knowing it, someone can give you some information, get you excited, and lead you down the wrong path, and then when you're in jail, getting tortured, then you'll regret it. Then you'll regret it, like those 5 brothers who are in Pakistan right now. You'll regret it. The other issue, and I'm going back to the FBI issue, there was a case that took place in Southern California at the Islamic Center of Irvine. There was a guy who came in, muscle guy, big muscular guy, you know, like bodybuilder. He lifted weights, big. He came in to the masjid saying he was a new Muslim. He was going by the name of Farouk Al-Aziz. His real name was Craig Monte. He was a career criminal. He's Italian American, so he had a little tan. So he said he was half white, half Arab. Okay? He had a little tan. He's about the same color of most of you sitting up in here. So he came there and he showed some of the pictures of the Shabab al-Muslimin, showing the picture of Muslim youth. Oh, look what they're doing in Pakistan, look what they're doing in Afghanistan. But the youth went and told the elders of the community, the elders contacted CAIR, then we called the law enforcement authorities, and eventually the guy was talking so radical, they had to bar him from the masjid. But the FBI never came to pick him up and arrest him because he was working for the FBI. He was an FBI informant. If you Google this, you can see this in the news, what happened. So now I'm going to tell you the steps, inshallah, of how to report someone who's coming to you. If someone comes to you in a community center, in your school, over Facebook, and says, let's do something against Americans for them killing, for them giving money to Israel. Or let's go to Yemen and fight Houthiyeen. Or let's go to Pakistan and do this. Or let's go do this. Whether the person is a real extremist or an FBI informant, it doesn't matter, you take the same step. But we don't know if the person is real Irhab, if he's part of the Irhabiyin, or if he's FBI, we don't know. It doesn't matter. You take the same step. So if someone comes to you, trying to get you excited, angry, over phone or internet or in person, the first step you tell them is, I disagree. I disagree with that. I don't believe in that. You hear me, young brothers? You say, I disagree with that. I don't believe in that. Why am I telling you that? Because if you're on a phone conversation, or even over the internet, and someone tells you something that they're going to do something, or they want to do something, and you don't tell them you disagree, or you don't tell them that you don't want to be a part of it, then the government can later on come back and say you were like complicit, or you were like an associate, like sahib. You're like an associate of that. So you have to say explicitly, I disagree with that, I don't believe in that. The second thing is you go tell your mother or father. And your mother and father, inshallah, will contact the imam of the masjid or contact CAIR so we can make a report of it and contact the proper law enforcement authorities. This is the step that you should take. If you're an older brother, you're not youth, and someone comes to you like this in the masjid, you should contact the sheikh here or the board president, and they will contact CAIR, or you can call CAIR Michigan's office so that we can make a report of it. Because what saved the brothers in California is that we documented the situation at CAIR and we contacted the authorities. This is what saved the community there, was taking the right steps and protecting themselves. Now, I will make this closing comment and we can have translation and then questions. Let me say this. This might sound controversial. Each and every one of us in here should be an informant. Each and every one of us in here should be an informant. What do I mean by that? If any of us see anything illegal going on in American society, we should report it. If it's someone selling drugs on our street, if we see prostitutes walking down Warren Avenue, if we hear of anyone plotting or talking, any crime, we should be the ones as good Muslims as being responsible, firstly, not to the government, responsible firstly to our Lord, Allah Azza wa Jal, and then being good citizens that we should report any criminal activity or conspiracies of crime. Any crime. Drugs, prostitution, insurance fraud, any of these types of illegal matters that are illegal and haram according to our jurisprudence. We should report these things. That's what I mean. Now what we shouldn't do is what Quran tells us not to do. La tajassasu. Quran says, right? We're not supposed to spy on each other. We don't go in each other's personal business looking for fault, looking for bad things. La tahassasu. We don't go to listen to try to get information out, and we don't spy on each other. So if any of you have an immigration issue or have committed a small crime, and the FBI wants you to be informant, I also want you to contact CAIR, but I'm telling you, wallahi, it's better for you and your akhirah if you don't become an informant and you go to court and get a judge and face your time, then to come in amongst the Muslimin or Muslimat, come in the masajid, spying on the Muslims or trying to set another Muslim up to get yourself out of an immigration issue or criminal problem. Don't do it. Ittaqullah, ikhwan. Don't do it. For the sake of your akhirah and for the sake of the community, don't do it. It doesn't mean you're being a bad Muslim or a bad American. That we have no obligation to spy on each other's personal business. It's haram. But if we see anything blatantly that's illegal, we should report it as good Muslim and good American. And actually, there's no conflict. The best Americans are good Muslims. We're the most law-abiding. We're the most educated. We have the best adab, the best akhlaq. That's us, inshallah. So we should do this. With that mentioned before that, we Muslims, and especially young Muslims, we do have problems with some things that our government's doing. And I'm not saying that we just lie down and take it. There are certain things that we should do, and especially younger people. I'm going to give you an extra one, but there's two things are my suggestions. Because we do have to release this energy, and we do have a mandate to stand up against injustice. And Allah Azza wa Jal said this about this ummah. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. The first thing is, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم أفضل جهاد كلمات الحق عند السلطان الجائر. وقال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أفضل جهاد كلمات العدل عند السلطان الجائر. The best jihad is to speak a word of truth and justice to a oppressive sultan, or we could say government in general. So we have the right here to speak. When we see unjust policies, we shouldn't be quiet about. We should do like other people do and write congressmen to write the president, to call the president, to go to Washington, D.C. and protest and to raise